Welcome and hope you are going to enjoy what I'm going to share with you guys today. Remember to like and subscribe. Shall we begin? Thank you for watching.
Welcome back to the Claude Masterclass series. In this episode, we're diving into one of the most powerful capabilities in the Claude ecosystem, Claude Code and Agentic AI. This is where Claude stops being a chatbot and starts being a coworker that takes action, writes code, manages files, and executes multi-step tasks autonomously. Let us start by understanding what Agentic AI actually means. Traditional AI is reactive. You ask a question, you get an answer. Agentic AI is proactive. You give it a goal, and it figures out the steps, executes them in sequence, handles errors along the way, and delivers a finished result. Think of it as the difference between asking someone for directions versus handing them the keys and saying, "Drive me there." Claude's agentic capabilities mean it can plan, execute, iterate, and deliver without you micromanaging every step. Let us talk about Claude Code specifically. Claude Code is a command line tool that lets developers delegate coding tasks to Claude directly from their terminal. You describe what you want built, and Claude writes the code, creates files, runs commands, tests the output, and fixes bugs, all inside your actual development environment. This is not a playground or a sandbox. Claude Code works with your real code base, your real file system, and your real tools. It can read your existing code, understand the architecture, and make changes that fit your project's patterns and conventions. Here's what makes Claude Code different from other coding assistants. Most tools give you code snippets that you then have to copy, paste, adapt, and debug yourself. Claude Code does the full loop. It reads your codebase for context, writes the implementation, creates or modifies files directly, runs the code to verify it works, and if something fails, it reads the error, diagnoses the problem, and fixes it automatically. That iterative loop of write, run, debug, fix is what makes it truly agentic. It doesn't just suggest, it ships. Now let me walk you through the practical workflow. You open your terminal, navigate to your project directory, and launch Claude Code. You can then give it natural language instructions. Something like, add a user authentication system with email verification to this Express app. Claude will analyze your existing codebase, plan the implementation, create the necessary files, install required packages, write the code, and test it. You watch the progress in real time and can intervene or redirect at any point. The key insight is that Claude Code maintains context across the entire session. It remembers what files it has read, what changes it has made, and what the current state of the project is. This makes it capable of handling complex, multi-file tasks that span your entire codebase. Let us talk about agentic capabilities beyond code. Inside the Claude interface itself, Claude can perform agentic tasks through its computer use features. It can create and manipulate files, generate documents, build spreadsheets, produce presentations, and even browse the web to gather information before completing a task. For example, you can ask Claude to research the top 5 competitors in your market, then create a comparison spreadsheet, then draft an executive summary, all in one conversation. Claude will execute each step, use the output of one step as input for the next, and deliver a complete package. This chaining of capabilities is what makes Agentic AI so powerful. It's not just answering questions, it's completing workflows. Now, here's where it gets really exciting: the concept of tool use and MCP. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and it's the framework that allows Claude to connect to external tools and services. Through MCP, Claude can interact with your Google Calendar, your Gmail, your Slack, your project management tools, and more. This means you can ask Claude to check your calendar for next week, draft meeting agendas for each appointment, and send them via email, all in one instruction. MCP turns Claude from an isolated assistant into a connected agent that can operate across your entire workflow. The number of available integrations is growing rapidly, and each one extends Claude's ability to take action in the real world. Let me share some high-impact use cases for Agentic Claude. For developers, Claude Code can refactor an entire codebase, add comprehensive test coverage, migrate from one framework to another, or build a complete feature from a product spec. For business professionals, Agentic Claude can generate reports from raw data, create polished presentations, build interactive dashboards, and produce documentation packages. For operations teams, it can audit processes, generate compliance checklists, and create training materials. The common thread is that these are multi-step tasks that traditionally require significant human time and attention. Agentic Claude handles the execution while you focus on the strategy. Let us talk about best practices for working with Agentic Claude. First, be clear about the end goal but flexible about the path. Tell Claude what you want to achieve, not every step to take. Let it figure out the implementation. Second, provide context. The more Claude knows about your project, your preferences, and your constraints, the better it performs. Third, use iterative refinement. Start with a broad instruction, review the output, then give targeted feedback. Claude learns from your corrections within the session. Fourth, trust but verify. Claude is remarkably capable, but always review the output for critical tasks. Check the code it writes, review the documents it produces, and validate the data it presents. Here is the mental model shift that separates power users from casual users. Stop thinking of Claude as a question-answering machine. Start thinking of it as a task completion engine. Instead of asking, "How do I build a REST API?" say, "Build me a REST API for user management with CRUD endpoints, authentication, and database integration." Instead of asking, "What should go in a quarterly report?" say, "Here is our Q4 data. Create a complete quarterly report with executive summary, department breakdowns, and recommendations." The shift from asking to delegating is what unlocks the full power of Agentic AI. Let me close with where this is heading. Agentic AI is not a gimmick. It is the future of how professionals interact with AI tools. The trajectory is clear. AI moves from answering questions to completing tasks to managing workflows to operating autonomously on your behalf. We are in the early stages of this transition, and Claude is leading the way. The professionals who learn to work with Agentic AI now will have a massive advantage as these capabilities continue to expand. Start small, build confidence, and gradually delegate more complex tasks. That is how you build an AI-augmented workflow that scales. That wraps up our deep dive into Claude Code and Agentic AI. In our next episode, we will cover advanced tips, hidden features, and power user techniques that tie the entire series together. See you there.
Thank you for staying through the video. Subscribe to watch more AI-related content.